Good morning, everyone, all commanders and leadership. Dr. Choa Yabaye. This message, you can forward it to all of those forces who constantly come out to cry about my trip to Boya, draft, and what have you. You are making a mockery of yourself and demonstrating utmost stupidity. You are playing a political game. Let me tell you people something. A liberation struggle is anchored in ideology and an impeccable foundation of truth, transparency, because those are all concepts that represent the future for which we fight. Any movement anchored on manipulation, deceit, you can never reform it. This is exactly what we told those who were clamoring to reform Cameroon. You can never reform a system anchored in deceit and manipulation. You can only crumble it and erect a new system. Time and again, you find these gentlemen, they go out, they are crying, oh, we didn't receive this. Who do they think they are fooling? We know the game they are playing. They come out, they cry about draft, they get the sympathy of Ambazonians who send the money. They realign to the corrupt, ineffective, and weak foundation for a couple of months. After a while, they come back, again keep crying and fooling Ambazonians. They know Ambazonians are desperate. They use the social media to their advantage to manipulate our people. Don't sympathize with them. They will go back under the corrupt system because it benefits them. This is how it works. When they come out with these videos, this is what happens. They win the sympathy of majority of Amazonians. Those who hate corruption, those who hate deceit, they win their sympathy. And so many people start seeing their effort and pushing the money. And then the corrupt foundation sends its own agents to go back to them, to appeal to them to realign. They partially realign, and in exchange for more money, they play Ambazonians. They play Ambazonians and stop being played. You know, it's like being in a relationship with a spouse who doesn't love you. Time and again, it puts a price on staying in that relationship. You keep spending, you keep spending. It will never work until you draw the line. Until you draw the line. There are a couple of issues that when I see out there, I rarely talk because it will be politicized. It's like, you know, you want to attack forces, those who say, no. I have personally spoken to these gentlemen, Sagat and the others. They move with my own forces across. We give the money to support them to buy seats, not because we want them to fight under ADF. As long as they can defend their bloc, they defend Ambazonia. Any force on the ground that is wanting, and we see that if it collapses, that bloc will be weakened, I will support. It has been a big and huge debate within the AGOC that we should not prop different groups and forces that will rise up tomorrow to be against us. But there is a fine line we can walk. I have determined that that is true. Don't prop those who will rise up tomorrow and become your enemies to try to destroy you. But the truth is, if you allow these blocks to collapse, it weakens that block and they will reach at you. That is the philosophy. But we know the game of these guys, even including OPT, a fine soldier. When he was supposed to get a machine gun and we were supposed to buy it for him, there were people who questioned, is he aligned, with the corrupt foundation, the ineffective bunch of infiltrators who have hijacked the mindset of our people in divisive and hateful rhetoric? And we said, well, as long as he's using his machine gun against the enemy, that's fine. The moment he gained notoriety, the corrupt foundation probably so much pressure on him, And he realigned and began to criticize the same people who risk, to provide him what he got. And we've done that for many groups to strengthen the foundation of our resistance. In determining how we were going to stop the massacres in our land, we realized if you want to assault these people on close range, you must have armor-piercing assault rifles to be able to do that, and there is a high risk on our soldiers. Those guys are wearing armor, and you are going around with bare bodies. And we determined that IEDs were the best way to deal with this, to reduce their entry, to slow them down, and to give us the opportunity. We didn't determine this for the ADF. We determined this for every bloc that is defending itself. And intelligence has been shared. The danger is when individuals rise up and begin to use their power to think they can politicize, the defense of the homeland. You will be manipulated for the rest of your life because you yourself, you are corrupt. Any of you aligning yourself with a corrupt, ineffective foundation, you are wasting your time. You will fight for the next 100 years under them. They don't know where they are going. They don't have a road map. For them, it is politics of power. You have to become independent. The population on the ground can support you, or you align yourself with the ADF. They will support you. The ADF is anchored on an impeccable ideology. Trained soldiers who know exactly how you can translate an action into a political capital that fosters our aspiration. That is the ADF. The ADF is not just an army, it's an idea that the military can be used to translate military action into political capital for the purpose of independence. So I sympathize sometimes when I watch these desperation, but I also see the manipulation inside. It's trying to play on both sides. It's trying, because if you are aligned under a structure, you receive funding for that structure. If you refuse to align under a structure, you put yourself as what I call a universal soldier that anybody can give monies to. And for that to happen, you need to come out with some of these videos. Some also play the game of aligning under a structure partially and being non-aligned so they can benefit on both sides. There are many agents, free agents out here who are looking for an opportunity to proliferate different small groups for the purpose of their own political power out here. And they are looking for these opportunities. When you start crying, oh, that you draft money. Did you expect draft money to come to you? Did my trip to Boya come to you? Which other money has come to you? Is this news or some sort of political propaganda that you people want to play? And they will list names of, these people are supporting me, this one. Who do they think they are fooling? They play this political prank all the time. And very soon you will see them realign. They will start shouting, oh, we are for the internet government. I don't know how to describe this nonsense of 4 years ago, this creation that we will I lack words to quantify the pain it has caused to our people. I lack words to quantify the deception when I look at its architect, the manipulation. People who declare themselves president and turn around and attack others running small movements as power mongers. Why the whole entitlement to power that has no mandate, no consent, no system of alteration, a perpetuation of the same clone fake disaster that we are running away from. And on a daily basis, as we try to make progress, they cook up manipulation to distract our people, to make us divert our focus on the crumbling enemy, which we should smash in the shortest time possible. Since we enjoy gossips, we go around talking about these little groups who come in and are crying on the social media, whether they got draft or they don't get draft, or whether they got MTB or they didn't get it. And we keep fueling this nonsense time and again, as a massive system of manipulation and distraction that takes our eyes away from the ball. Have no sympathy for all those coming around and doing, crying babies. When they are then giving money, you never hear them come out and say, oh no, now we've received money. They go around and play double. So I ask, this is my message to them. You see, Afghanistan has fallen. It's not because the Taliban was more powerful than the Afghan forces. As one person said, it's about conviction. The Taliban is anchored in an ideology, a foundation that is clear-cut, not stitched together little ideas, patchworks of stolen ideas, time and again. What happened? A group with conviction, once the cloak of American support was lifted over Afghanistan, it took a few days. The Americans made a determination, after having begun secret talks with the Taliban, that it would be cheaper to allow the Taliban take over, guarantee security and stability and predictability, than to continue massive investment in treasure and blood on a patchwork. The same patchwork that was brought into this liberation struggle from Zaria, that has splintered itself into hundreds of groups, hundreds of interest groups, power brokers, lobbies, elites, and are creating chaos, in the whole place. Anchor yourself in an idea that is powerful, that gives you a sense of direction, that defines an objective achievable. If you fight and die, that death will not be in vain. I can assure you, you align yourself to patchwork. This is not about political power. It's about how you win and how you sustain that victory. We've gone around this circle for so many years because they don't have the patience to recruit, train, and imbue in these trainees an idea that they can fight and die for. They continuously, pick up lone soldiers from here and there and stitch them together time and again and perpetuate this confusion that has rocked Ambazonians for the past 5 years. And they don't give up in their divisive rhetorics, in their hateful rhetorics, in their manipulation, gut-wrenching manipulation. And I pity our people. I pity the gullibility of people who really want to be free. And sometimes they are plummeted with these rhetoric and hate-drenched talks that they kind of feel like, should we simply succumb to these he-goats that is pestering us? Or should we stand our ground with people with ideas and conviction, transparency that are constantly being hammered? The choice is yours.